Assalamu alaikum, peace. Coach Nazir here. If you're in the room today, by the way, I'm just going to be, I want to address my brothers. A number of different questions I received, and I want to address them. So prayerfully, that's what I'm going to do. And since I am unable to get on Facebook, Facebook jail is wild, we are going to stream solo dolo on YouTube. So appreciate you being here. Nevertheless, I'm going to give it a few minutes. If you have any questions, though, put some question marks down before and after the question so I can recognize it. And as you're tuning in, let me know where you're tuning in from. You know, what country, what city, what state, where you at? What's up? I'm currently in the Midwest, coming out this winter thaw. So, and I'm also here solo. So if you're looking for Coach Nyla or Fatimah, they're not here. I just finished up with my training. So that's why I'm here. And I'm doing some sharing right now on Facebook since I can't. For some reason, they blacklisted me, or I got in Facebook jail, putting up a post about racism. Crazy, because with this new censorship stuff, it's real. Anyway, if you're here, let me know where you're from, where you at. Dope Law, D-Town in Detroit. Peace, bro. I am incredible. But I'll get started in a second. I need to share on Facebook since I'm banned right there right now. So give me just a hot second. And I did see your questions, bro. Matter of fact, if you can repost here, that would I know I can address them, since it'll be a relatively short live, I presume, because usually the sisters have more questions than brothers, and ain't nobody trying to see me. They want to see and speak with my wives anyway. Usually, okay, say that, but usually they do. They're looking for more information from the sisters, but again, the family is what we believe, and maybe I can answer some stuff for some sisters as well. All right, if you haven't already done so, let us know where you are from, where you're tuning in from. And wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. But also at the same time, you can hit up the like button if you're new, or subscribe, hit the bell to get our notifications. I know some of you already have. That's why you're here. You got that quick notification. So I definitely appreciate you for doing that. It helps us reach more people, kind of expand the audience. And YouTube loves that algorithm and stuff like that. So since YouTube has not banned us, then we shall proceed in a couple seconds. All right, basically what I did today with my training for our RMIC members is we spoke with and dealt with getting fly. That's an acrostic that I came up with for men, and I was mainly focused on the brothers today as leaders of the family. But the F deals with fiscal, the L deals with leadership, and the I deals with intelligences. So not going to go into that training, right now, clearly, because that's for our RMIC members and it goes deeper. You need your worksheets and everything to go with that. So if you are an RMIC member and we're on there live, what's up? Assalamu alaikum, peace. If not, then it will be in your members area within 24 to 48 hours. If you want more information on that program, it's outstandingpersonalrelationships.com/RM. So, all right, let me share one more thing. Funny, because I'm in Facebook jail, right? So I did a post, and I shared a post. It was of a Klan member in the Marilyn Monroe pose, and underneath was a police officer uniform. So it was flagged, and they had banned me. So I appealed it. It was flagged twice. I appealed it. One came back and said, you know what, you were right, we're wrong, sorry, no problem. The second one said, we reviewed it, and you were still wrong, so we're gonna ban you for 30 days or whatever. Same post, two different things. One was okay, the one was not. So for some reason, I can still post and share certain things on Facebook. However, I cannot do any type of live streaming. They've affected our page, where we can't do any live streaming stuff on the page, which is crazy because we were just live yesterday. But it is what it is. That's why we have our own website. We stream from there in a private members area and everything as well. So, just letting you know, it is what it is. But we'll go from there. All right, cool. Here's the deal. All right. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Waleed, out in Indianapolis, what are some things you knew before you got into polygyny? Some things that you know now that you wish you knew in the beginning of polygyny. Society is really against the lifestyle, brother. Indeed, indeed. Well, here's the thing. As a man, there's some things that we need to do. As brothers, as leaders, as husbands, as fathers, period. There's steps that we have to really go through. And I mentioned it yesterday, if you saw a little bit of our live. We go from different stages. We go from boy to being kind of mannish, to being a man, to a man of value, to really a king. All right, and this all goes in really your character development, not in the I'm a king type thing, people serve me type stuff, because the reality, you know that there's more responsibilities. The more you climb that ladder and the bigger you become, the more is expected of you to contribute and assist. All right, so it's not about you being served. Yeah, man, I forgot my kufi. I was rushing, so I see my hair today. Not that it matters, I'm just saying, I'm looking at myself. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, this forehead is serious. Anyway, with that being said, fiscal, as a man, you have to be able to take care of yourself. And one of those defining characteristics that you're able to provide for yourself, meaning that you're not a dependent on somebody else's tax return. You ain't standing in my basement. You're not going half on it with somebody. You're able to take care of yourself, feed, clothe, shelter yourself with the abilities that you've been given. All right, that doesn't make you a good man. That just means you're a man. You're independent. I don't care if you're 15 years old doing that. Clearly, you have to have achieved puberty. But whether you're 15 years old, 25 years old, that's one of the first steps. Anything less than that is mannish. If you've achieved puberty, you're living with somebody else, depending on them, you mannish. All right, where I come from, mannish is somebody trying to be something that they're really not, and having a bad attitude and something that goes along with it. Then there's a man of value, somebody that's looking to lead, somebody that's looking to build. All right, but they already have experience, they have knowledge, they have drive and desire to move forward. Therefore, you're looking at marriage, children, family, and so on, right? And of course, kingdom building, you got to be a king for that. But it takes different steps. So one of the first things we have to do, clearly, there's two things that affect your life, bros, more than anything else. Again, I'm talking to my brothers. One, your spiritual foundation, your character. That should affect everything that you do, from the way you dress, the way you eat, the way you worship, the way you deal with others in transactions, your honesty, all right, the things you stand up for, the things that perturb you and you get upset for and angry for, the things that you let slide, learning how to forgive, asking for forgiveness. Your spiritual foundation is going to deal with all of that, or it should deal with all of that. At least it does for me as a Muslim in Islam. It's a complete way of life. I was always Muslim? Nope. Came from the street. All right. Came from the street. Had nothing to do with the spiritual part, but I was raised Christian, kindergarten to 10th grade. Still knew the Bible very well, know it very well. We studied every single day. We even studied catechism, even though I was Lutheran. So it was more of an academic study. It wasn't like certain parts of the family, they go to church and go have communion. They would have like crackers and grape juice. We didn't do that. When we had our whole communion thing, all that, we had real wine and unleavened bread and all that kind of stuff, right? So I was Christian. Knew the book thoroughly and everything else, and then disowned religion. So I went on my own search. I disowned organized religion. I didn't want to hear anything about Islam to begin with, just based on the stuff that Christianity had already said about it. And I was like, well, they're living over there, so they just believe that. So I went on a big old search to just bring me back to try to disprove the Quran and Islam, and it made me submit because I was honest and objective in my search. Now, that's me, but I was honest and objective, and it led me to Islam. So that's the spiritual foundation. Now, the other thing that affects every part of my life, because it's my identity and who I am. Yep, I'm a black man in America. Indeed, part of my identity. I'm a Muslim. Yep, no question. But being a Muslim, having that spiritual foundation, gives me a guide with which to live my life and principles and philosophies and everything else. Now, that doesn't mean you just blindly follow any type of dogma and be misled. No, I did that with my previous religion. But that affects the part of my life, which is my point. The other part is fiscally. Money is going to affect your life. Currency is going to affect your life. It affects the quality of life, where you live, whether or not you have schooling, whether you feel safe and secure where you are, whether you live in luxury or whether you live not in luxury, right? It affects it. So these two things, that affects every part of your life. It affects your physical health, your mental health. It affects all of these different things. Right? So I'll talk about getting F.L.I. So as a man, one of the first steps is clearly becoming financially independent enough to take care of just yourself. Not anyone else, but just yourself. That's stage one. Then we talked about L, which is leadership. All right, leadership. So leadership to lead yourself, number one. I read a quote, and I'm paraphrasing, but it said, procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God owes you another chance to do tomorrow what he gave you the ability to do today. Procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God is obligated to give you a chance tomorrow what he gave you the ability and the chance to do today. That's deep. That's deep. So you must lead yourself. Whether it's leading yourself back from the dinner table, or using gravity against the ground to do some push-ups to be physically straight, or lead yourself to some books or some YouTube University, learn about relationships, learn about how to, get currency, build your business, build a fam. All right, you have to lead yourself first. It's self-discipline before you can ask to lead or be expected to lead a family or another human being, whether as a husband or a father. This is important. Or if you're already there, what's some catch-up that needs to happen? We need to get somewhere, right? We need to move forward. So leadership is very important. And I talk about it all the time. One of my favorite books on leadership is the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Then we talked about I and intelligences and different types of intelligences, whether it's intrapersonal, the kinesthetic, interpersonal relationship, whether it's the musical, so there's 8 different types of intelligences, basically, or at least that most sociologists would agree upon. And finding out which ones you feel the most in and more vibe with. See, me personally, I'm an introvert. But I'm able to speak to you right now because I was trained, because I had a desire, some ambition. I had some mentors that poured more into me and thought more of me than I thought of myself at the time. So my largest audience being in front of them was about 14,000 people at the MGM Grand, just kind of sharing a success story where I come from and so on in a home-based business. So now I can get in front of a camera because I had other mentors teaching me how to do this type of stuff, right? But I had to lead myself in order to get the stuff done and recognize, one, I needed work. So I had to humble myself, practice some humility, and learn. So 3 things you'll learn and know right away that I talk about. You're going to be successful in any endeavor, whether it's relationship-wise, financial-wise, spiritual-wise. You need 3 things. You have to have that burning desire, also known as ambition. I can't teach that. Maybe I can inspire something in you for you to find your own motivation, but I can't teach ambition. I don't know if there's a cure for a lack of ambition. We pray and make dua to protect us from laziness, our own laziness. All right, so ambition, willingness to work. You got to do the work. All right, wouldn't it be great if somebody else went to the gym, but you got the muscles and were fit? Oh, that'd be lovely. But you have to actually do the work. You have to fail. You have to be willing to fail and willing to learn the lessons from that. Otherwise, you're going to continue failing, which is just stupid. The last part, you must be teachable and coachable. Yep, bro, you got to be teachable and coachable. Now, I said I'm talking to the brothers mainly today. Maybe I can answer some questions for the sisters if they have some. But the reason I'm talking to brothers is because usually women, they're more sociable anyway, and they'll talk and they'll express because that's more of an estrogen-generated thing to do. Men really don't do that. We go internal. We try to figure it out. We think a little bit more, try to be rational. We could talk and express, yeah, but not as much as women. Women get together in a circle. They'll have their own little therapy session, group therapy session without even knowing that's what it is. We don't really do that as brothers. All right, we don't. I mean, it is what it is. All right, we don't really have our support groups and stuff like we talk to people, have a little group, get together, something like that, which is cool and it's healthy. All right, but we usually don't. So men try to find things their way and everything else, which is understandable. I mean, when you think of lions and we talk about men being a lion and all that stuff. Listen, when a young lion grows up, young male lion grows up, he's in that pride. Well, somebody got to go. 2 male lions ain't gonna be able to lead the pride. It's gonna be one. So either the young lion's gonna take over by fighting the older lion and demonstrate she can protect the pride better, and the other one has to go on his way or die, or he's gonna have to leave the pride as he gets older and recognize he can't take on the head. Now, that doesn't mean we're lions. No. Though lions do have multiple the female lions or lionesses with them, and people like to talk about polygyny and show pictures of lions and stuff like that. But nevertheless, we're not animals. We're above that. But that being said, it's our responsibility as men, as leaders, as those who are married, those who practice polygyny, those who desire to practice polygyny, to get better. And we do that by getting rid of our egos or minimizing our egos and our pride and learning. It's not the easiest. That's why I'm talking to the brothers, because we need that. And it feels good. You get it. You go into it. You come back. You got some progress. So fiscal wise, let me tell you something. I shared it on or in our Facebook group. And I'm not saying any of this stuff to impress you, but to impress upon you what is available when those three things are there: burning desire, willingness to work, and being teachable and coachable. So some of you know, I've been talking about Bitcoin for a minute. I initially got involved in 2017, the end of 2017, learning a little bit about it, stuff like that, looking up the rulings and so on. And then made a little bit of money into 2017, last little bull run. It was popping. It was nice. But I didn't really get into more than just some basic fundamentals and stuff like that. It was running my business and everything, right? So last year when I saw, about a year ago, a little over a year ago, actually, I think it was March like 7th or 8th, right after the pandemic, got called a pandemic. By who? I saw that Bitcoin dropped to like $3,750 or something like that. It was crazy because I hadn't seen it like that since the summer of 2017. When I first got introduced to Bitcoin, I'm like, okay, it's a pandemic. They printing up money. Trump is putting $5 trillion and all this crazy numbers into the base of the currency because of learning. Creature from Jekyll Island, learn about the Federal Reserve, all this stuff. I had to study money. So if you haven't studied money, or if you haven't watched this playlist by Michael Maloney called The Hidden Secrets of Money, get on it. Take notes. Get there. The Hidden Secrets of Money. It's 11 videos. Take you less than 11 hours of your life, but you have a better understanding than 95% of people walking on the crust of the earth. And it's extremely important because, again, that spiritual foundation and that fiscal foundation. If you want to win at the game, you need to know the rules and know the language. Anyway, with that being said, so I shared in our group, Let's Talk Polygyny group, and Muslims who trade crypto and stocks, just what happened over the last 48 hours with some different trading that I'm doing, right? And it wasn't about me, pull it up now, I'll tell you exactly what it was. So in the last, and you just got to go to the group to see it. You got to go to the group to see it because this is a public video, and I come from a place where if somebody's hungry and starving, Marvin, you're looking like hot food, like Mos Def said, then it's not a good look, and you really have to be careful. All right. So anyway, the amount of money that I made just doing this, I get paid in money. I don't get paid in US dollars. I do inverse. So they paid me in Bitcoin with different trading. So with that was more in an hour and a half, 2 hours max than I used to make in a month and a half. And again, I'm not saying it to impress you, but I'm saying I had to learn something, and I'm still learning. So the course I suggest that you take, if you're on the list, you can go ahead and if you're on our email list at outstandingpersonalrelationships.com, you'll get it there. Or if you're in the group at Let's Talk Polygyny group, our Facebook group, you'll get the information there. But I could easily put a link. I can't do that while I'm coordinating all this stuff right here. But and I don't remember the guy's name, but I have a whole link to his playlist to teach you how to trade. That's an option. Whether or not you do it, at least you know, you learn, you can read charts. See, if you don't know how to read the chart, that means you're illiterate when it comes to this type of game and knowing money. If you haven't been through the hidden secrets of money, then you wouldn't understand the debasing of the currency and how destructive 1.9 trillion is when they send out these $1,400 checks. But if you take your $1,400, if you earn less than 100,000 or whatever a year, or 200 or a quarter mil as a couple, which only 10% of people even make over, or 10% of men, for example, even make over 6 figures a year. All right, which it is what it is. But so you get your stimulus. As I was telling people last year, you get your stimulus. This unexpected money is just going to show up, grab you some Bitcoin. Had a person got a whole Bitcoin last year for $3,750, right now it'd be worth how much exactly? Right now it'd be worth $59,841. Most didn't do that, and most won't do that. So what I'm talking about men who make decisions, they can lead themselves and they can take action. We're not talking about building up little boys and holding people's hands and having a pity party for people. No, you're a grown man, you're responsible for you. If your faculties are working and you have access to the internet, you got YouTube University in front of you, there's no excuses. My mentor said, look, excuses are poor reasons to be useless. I understood what that meant. I understood exactly what that meant. I'm the one that's accountable and responsible. I can't go to anybody else. I know the Prophet ﷺ said the upper hand is better than the lower hand. That doesn't mean you denigrate it. That means you utilize your intelligence to do better and to give more, to benefit more people. Anyway, let me check into some of these questions I'm seeing that are coming across the screen. All right. And I appreciate your engagement. So what are some of the things that you know now that you wish you knew in the beginning of polygyny that I know now? Emotional intelligence I knew was important, but being able to demonstrate it in different ways is even more important. Because when you practice polygyny, you're married to multiple women. They have different personality types, different likes, different dislikes, different sensitivities, and all that, right? And now we're more in the public eye, so things can change. So knowing this, you have to be able to demonstrate it differently. I was like, okay, cool. Well, if a person knows something is right, then okay, they'll just adjust because it's right. It's not, in polygyny, it's not about something necessarily being right. It's what can be done better. So you can have a choice between a good decision and a better decision. Do what's better, and what's better may not be the same in each circumstance, just like giving gifts or taking out somewhere and stuff like that. So in the beginning of polygyny, you know, the measurable things are easy. So the time and the money, that's the easy thing, because those, you can keep a ledger on that. That's easy. But when it comes to the emotional part, the part behind the scenes, the part that really matters the most, you can't really see that. So it's important to increase your emotional intelligence enough to be able to read it where it matters, which is at the beginning. All right, so I wish I'd have known that, but it is what it is. That's why we teach on it now, the things that we did learn. Society is against polygyny. Yeah, society is against polygyny, but they hella pro-homosexual and everything else. So it really doesn't matter to me what society says. They're against Muslims, they're against black folks in general. You know what I'm saying? I don't live for society. And since I've already been through those changes and maturing into a man, it doesn't really matter. If you go with the mainstream of society, then you're probably gonna be on the wrong side anyway. That's another thing my mentor told me. He was like, look, if you got 100 people and 97 of them are going in one direction, it'd be best for you to go in the other direction. If society's all buying into something or an idea, it's probably wrong. And if you look at it financially, the numbers don't lie. If less than 10% of people make $100,000 a year, or if it's over $250,000 a year, now you're in the top 1%. It's $250,000. Okay? So if the masses are doing it or into it, you probably should go the other way. The contrarian view. Do you all go through infidelity? I don't know what that means. Maybe it's not good English. Do you all go through infidelity? We have not had infidelity in our relationships, no. If that's what you're asking. Or do you all go through it? I don't know what that means. Can this be a 45-minute stream? No, sir. I just got done with an hour with our RMIC members. I'm just kind of doing this as a bonus right now. While my wife is on her way to the office to scoop me up shortly, inshallah. Can polygyny couples go on double dates with other polygyny couples, or is that just not practical? Do you all fellowship with other polygyny marriages and families? We don't really do like double date thing, but yeah, we know people, you know, that are involved in polygyny. But again, there's no cookie cutter with it. So some wives are friends and, you know, best friends. Some are not. Some talk and are cordial, but they want their own individual time, you know. So when I go out, like my wives and I, we all went out to dinner and stuff before, and usually talking about business or family or some different things that we're moving on. We didn't do that at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessary that people do it. But yeah, we have, you know, other couples and stuff like, or whatever, couples, thruples, whatever you want to call it, that we're friends with. But, you know, our circle is small. So, yep, there's that. Man, and I needed to get some water after my speaking the first time, but I don't. All right. Excuse me. What do you think about making a reading list and putting it on your website? I actually have a reading list that I share with our RMIC members. So for example, the worksheets that are going to be up in there in the membership area tomorrow is going to have at least about 10 books that I suggested. So whether you get the audio books or the books or read it or get it on YouTube or the Kindle, whatever, they'll have access. So we do that. The challenge is that, listen, this is still a business. You know what I'm saying? So we're helping and empowering people. So just the cost of this camera, this equipment, this all costs money. So our members get our premium service and access, if that makes sense. So we do have that. And I've shared on a number of different videos as well, just verbally, but it takes a lot of time to put these different things together, pay different editors and all kind of stuff. So yeah, we must have our own motivation indeed. Nobody give us that. Facts. What a day in the life like for you? What is your diet like in a day like? Go to your common meals. What you do to like to eat? You like Chipotle? You work at Chipotle? Go send me a coupon or something. Try to eat healthy. You should go and check out F.L.I. if you haven't heard of his name, Brian. Nope, I haven't heard of F.L.I. I couldn't take notes, try to grab it, or at least get some information on it, inshallah. What's a day like in my life? I don't know necessarily what that really means, except the main thing is we get up for Fajr, or we get up for Tahajjud. That's the pre-dawn prayer, if you will, because that's a very, very important prayer to have in your life on a daily basis. And we focus on Asma wa Sifat, calling on Allah Ta'ala's names in sajda or in sujood, prostration. So we start there, get up, boom. And then Fajr comes in, we go to the masjid. I pick up, I'm riding with my sons to the masjid. So I'm at the house, wherever I'm at. One of my sons goes with me, or two, and then we go to the other house that's half a mile from me, pick up my other sons, we hit the masjid. We pray Fajr at the masjid every morning, unless there's some crazy circumstance we can't control. But every month, we pretty much make it, unless it's maybe 1 or 2 days, and that's only on bad winter days or something like that, really bad weather. But so that's how we start, right there in the masjid. But I have, here, let me show you 1 second. All right. One of the dopest things I have is this right here. This is a journal, right? Well, you can't see it. It's a journal. And I'm not here, sound like a paid placement or something like that. But what's the name of this thing? Clever Fox Planner, right? So my Clever Fox Planner, like I'm really going through this whole thing. Awareness and self-discovery, daily rituals. Like, for example, it asks you, what is the vision out for? What is the vision for the life I want? What are my core values? What am I passionate about? What brings me joy? What's my life's purpose and my mission? What or who should I avoid in order to live a happier and more fulfilling life? So if you followed us for any amount of time, you understand that the quality of the questions you ask yourself determine the quality of your life, because it determines the quality of the answers. So over here, daily rituals, I'm grateful for, boom. And this is written out. All right, I don't personally necessarily like writing, but I know how it creates new neural association, neural synapses in your brain, and how it helps manifest things as well. And I also write in blue ink, which is one of the tips my mentor said, write in blue, don't write in black. My affirmations, things I need to remind myself of. This is just basic stuff at the front, right? And then here's the month. And no, it's not the month. What do I want my life to be like? Health and fitness, business, career, family, friends, relationships and romance, finance, personal development, fun and recreation, 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. It's to write this stuff out and get a vision, right? And this is just the beginning, right? Then it's my 1 year goals, broken down in these several areas. Then I go to the month. So this is the entire month and planning out what I have scheduled. Then we go to the monthly review. After the month is over, how did you do? What were some wins? How can you do better? All of this stuff, right? And then I get to the weeklies. Nah, this is the next month. Get to my stuff. Come on. All right. My notes, you got notes and all stuff in the back. Then you have your weekly stuff, which I need to go over today, since today is the beginning of a new week. All right. Just February. So, as an example, it's the weekly, right? But it talks about clearly what you need to do, what's today's goal, what are top 3 priorities. So this is action stuff. This is like a coach's journal. This coaches you, right? Then it goes to this week's main goal, this week's priorities. What is your work to-do list? What is your personal to-do list? What are habits and skills that you're working on? What's your life balance to-do list? I'm excited about, top 3 things you're excited about and why. Just some notes. What are this week's wins? What are the lessons learned? How will I improve next week? This stuff matters. So do I have a specific, since I work from home, do I have a specific thing that I do every day other than, our prayers and stuff like that? Now I'm pretty consistent, with making sure I'm in my journal, the Salatul Fajr and stuff like that. If we want to go ahead and go grab something to eat or go out, we can go ahead and do that. Other than that, I trade, we create good content, editing, all that kind of stuff. Eating wise, usually I try to do OMAD, so that's like 1 meal a day. I prefer the high fat, low carb regimen, lifestyle. Keto diet, being in ketosis, is extremely healthy for your brain, your processing, everything. I haven't eaten anything today. So thus far, right now where I'm at, it's almost 1 o'clock. So I've probably been fasting about 16, 17 hours, so that's that, bro. That's not really, everybody's different. So inshallah ta'ala, that helps. But yeah, more information you can get on the RMIC is at outstandingpersonalrelationships.com/RM. I'm gonna wrap it up in a second too. But any other questions? As a matter of fact, let me check Facebook for the places that I did share. I have some questions over there from the brothers and sisters. Any other questions though? Like if y'all got some questions, put some question marks that I can answer, especially, related to the brothers. But sisters, y'all got some questions too? Let me know. Oh, okay, I need to log in. But if not, no worries, makes the job easier. All right, go back over here. Oh, you asked about our book. buy your book. You can't buy it just yet. We'll let you know the link when you're on the email list, because we're going to do, everybody's on the email list going to get advanced access or a notice of everything in advance. They get a number of different bonuses and stuff just for being on our list as we, grew OPR. But the book is Let's Talk Polygyny Uncensored. So if you're on the list, you'll have that. Prayerfully, it'll be back relatively soon from editing, and we'll be good to go. All right, cool. I don't see any more questions. And again, the wives aren't here, so there's less engagement, but it's cool. It's all good. Again, anybody come here and see me? All right, y'all. Again, if there's no more questions, I'm out. Appreciate y'all being here. Remember, which changes nothing but a decision changes everything. And also practice GLC. So that means you're growing continually, you're loving fearlessly, and connecting on a higher level every single day. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.